Do not do this unless you're absolutely criminally insane. I genuinely cannot believe how well this day has started. I have written 4 pages. Not the most unhinged thing I've ever done, but like I think it was fitting the unhinged for the video. I last updated you 3 hours ago, and less than 2 pages ago, I can just crawl under that bed. Good night. Hi, I'm Annie, and in this video I'll be following Oda's insane 21-hour writing routine. Now, you probably already know who Oda is, the incredible author of the extremely popular manga series One Piece. I've just started reading One Piece, and when I encountered this absolutely bonkers writing routine, I knew I had to try it out. Now before 1, 10 or 100 One Piece fans come for me saying this is not the writing routine Oda follows any longer, I am aware, but it is just so insane that I do want to try it out, and it makes sense why he doesn't follow it any longer, because the routine will be waking up at 5 in the morning and beginning your writing and continuing set writing until 2 in the morning and only taking breaks to eat. I will be doing this for 1 day, and as far as I can understand, Oda did this pretty much every day. I won't be blabbering on for too long, but a couple of other things that I will be following in this author routine tryout are just some things that I picked up from some of the interviews Oda has done, or just other things that I found online. And obviously, as Oda is writing manga, it's going to be quite a bit different than the fiction, prose fiction that I will be writing. But as Oda goes through his graffiti notebooks, I will be going through a notebook as well, because I will also be writing by hand, which is, I think, makes this a bit more authentic. I won't be writing by hand for this exercise. I am actually writing my book by hand in general. Another thing is that Oda lives where he works, so I will be writing completely in my house, in my home. I won't be leaving, I won't be even going to the store, I won't be even going on a walk outside to the gym. I will be working and writing mostly in my room, so it will really be like working where I live. And finally, Oda does listen to soul music. That is what I found out, that when he works, he listens to soul music. So that is something else that I will be taking inspiration of. That is most of it. Most of it is just writing an insane amount in a day, because normally I only take a couple of hours to work on my project. I suppose I will just see you at 5 in the morning. Good morning. It is 5 in the morning, and well, it's quarter past 5 in the morning, but I think that's solid enough. I'm genuinely feeling much more awake and like better than I thought I would. I think it has to do with the fact that I'm much more familiar with waking up at 5 than I should be. Ooh, I can hear birds. Ooh, I can hear birds. I'm now gonna go wash my teeth and get breakfast and just make myself ready and start writing, apparently, because that's what I need to start doing. I just want to show you how wonderful it is to wake up at 5 in the morning in Finland, because, well, it is day. As you can see, it's just daytime. Nothing night about this.
I did a little bit of work. It was very slow though. Like I'm already wearing exercise clothes, so
So I had a bit of an oopsie and I spilled coffee, and now it's suddenly 6 in the morning. I don't know if you can see that, but it's 6 in the morning. I've now got this massive mess around my desk. This didn't exist here half an hour ago. Only my annotation supplies got damaged. I did spill a bit on my Harry Potters and my comics, which I went through with a towel, which is why it looks like that. I'm just gonna ignore all of this and go on with writing. First I'm gonna get a new coffee, which I'm not gonna spill. Yeah. I genuinely can't believe how well this day has started. I mean, did it start off well with that mess early on? No, obviously it didn't, but for the last 50 something minutes, I've been doing wonderfully. It's not even 7 yet. Okay, I said that, and literally the moment I saw it turn to 7. I need to change my screensaver, wallpaper. But I've actually written 1.5 pages, which might not sound that impressive, but believe me, it is. I'm what I call a slow drafter. So I don't fast draft. Fast draft basically means that you're trying to get through the story as fast as you can to get it on paper. You don't really the I don't know, I'm not a fast drafter, so I don't want to paint a wrong picture of fast drafting, but from what I've understood and from when I've tried fast drafting, it's just, to me, it always felt like vomiting on page, because I'm a slow drafter. So basically how it usually works with me is like I write a sentence and I really think about the next sentence and I write a sentence, because already in here it should be, well, obviously it's not going to be good because it's the first draft, but it should be good enough to be able to be read aloud. I don't have anything else to say. I think I'm going to take a bit of a break just because it has started hurting to say. That's gonna be a problem, but that is just a common problem at writing in general. I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna get a new coffee, and maybe pick up a book I'm gonna have at the side. I know Oda doesn't probably, it says nothing about literary material next to you or like reading whilst you were working, but he does use influences, and I think he wouldn't mind that. I'm not like chill reading, cozy reading, but I'm gonna get a book which I'm gonna browse through for influencing. The next time I'm him, I'm actually gonna tell you what the story is about, because I was meant to do that right now, but I don't wanna. It is currently almost 9 in the morning, which should mean we would have 4 hours, but as I started working at 6, 3 hours, but as I took like 40 minutes to put on makeup. And what else did I do? I was meant to start reading. That was when I said I'm gonna go read a bit. Didn't do that. I put on makeup and did something else. So I've been writing for 2 and something hours, and I have written 4 pages. Again, that might not sound impressive, but it is very impressive for me, especially because yeah, before this today I had written this much of the story. That is quite little. I did get in my notebook because I do need it, because I have done other work, like for example I have written notes, and like I know I am a discovery writer, aka like I done plot plan outline my stories beforehand, but I do know things that we're gonna do. And I think it kind of fits the Oda writing as well, because I'm not sure is he a planner or a plotter, because trying to find out stuff about how Oda writes or like what is his process is really difficult, because he's a very private person who doesn't do a lot of interviews and whatnot. But from one interview I did figure out that what he said was like he knows where One Piece is gonna end, but if he gets like an idea of like something he wants to share with the readers, I think what he said was something like it would be rude to not share. So that, to my understanding, like to how I interpret that, sounds a bit like a planter, a pantser. Although that could be considered a planter because there is kind of a plot, but also pantsing. What I mean is like it's very similar to me, whereas like I know kind of usually where I'm going. I know a lot of things that I'm gonna do with the story, but all these little stops that we take along the road, I don't know them. So I'm just gonna let my creativity to just lead me wherever we go. I did say that I would tell what the story I'm writing is about. It's like a modern fairy tale. That feels weird. It follows this girl's descent into a fairy tale, basically. She dies, and instead of, you know, dying, she wakes up within a fairy tale, and it's absolutely bizarre. That's why also one of the reasons why I fit really well this Oda writing, because though we can debate how well One Piece fits into absurdist fiction, this definitely fits into absurdist fiction. One Piece does use a lot of absurdist humor, And like we kind of use the term absurdism within the reading booktube world quite loosely, because books like, I just realised those are below the camera, but like Terry Pratchett's works, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, etc. are often called absurdist fantasy, absurdist sci-fi, and we don't really define the term absurd. It is absurd in a lot of ways, I suppose similar to like all of those that I've mentioned, but it's also absurdist. It's a weird story. How should I explain it? Like that's kind of like the gist of it. But it's also this adventure to find true love, the person. Can I explain my own work? No, but I'm like really passionate about this. I just started writing this and I've been absolutely absorbed within it. I am absolutely awed by this story. I just want to keep on writing it. But yeah, that was my kind of mid-to-link update. I'm doing great. Like, it's only 9 in the morning, so we've got 15 hours to go. So a lot of time for things to get absolutely wrecked. But so far so good, besides that coffee incident. I think I'm going to be cleaning the floor right now, because working amidst chaos, especially when that chaos wasn't there in the morning, isn't the bestest time. Oh yeah, that was why I was gonna do this update. I encountered a problem. So basically one thing that is within this work, which is, it's a very intertextual work. I love intertextuality. It's my most intertextual writing that I've ever. But there's this one element within the story, which is like we've got like these stories within the story, and all of those are meant to be like kind of pastiche to separate different works. I'm meant to be writing the first one after this chapter, and I completely forgot about it, that I was meant to reread the beginning of The Picture of Dorian Gray for that, and I haven't done that. So that's a bit of a problem. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. Am I gonna just like fix it kind of how it was meant to be when I'm rewriting? Or am I just gonna take a pause and read like the first couple of chapters of Picture of Dorian Gray? The character we're gonna get is a very Dorian character. He's a muse to an artist, but the artist left him. I was like, you're no longer my muse. And he's kind of very melodramatic, very Byronic, very and it's like the scene, the chapter in which we introduce him is meant to be kind of a pastiche to Picture of Dorian Gray, but I haven't read this book in 4 or 5 years. Is there a door open? No, that's my door. I'm an idiot. Not gonna lie, with this outfit on, I kind of feel like a stylish 70s dad. I think that's very fitting. I came to state that what I've been actually listening to, because I forgot to say that the last time, is 60s soul. I think I'll put on 70s soul mix next, because I've listened to enough of 60s soul. That is because Oda has mentioned that soul is his favourite music, and that is something he listens to as he works. At least that is what my notes say. And I don't mind, because I like soul. And yeah, when I said I'm gonna get some reading material, I didn't think about the Bible. This is obviously not the Bible, but it might as well be the Bible. It is, let's say, it is the preferable Bible. It is the Bible that I can read and won't read. And I just got this and I love it. It's absolutely brilliant. I do have, I'm not getting rid of it, but I do have this absolutely beautiful, gorgeous edition of Dante's Inferno, which I have read, and I have tabbed it, but I have not actually annotated it. But I did start rereading it and annotating it, and what I'm doing is I'm like underlining my favorite passages and writing it in the original Italian. But here we've got the authoritative translation. This is apparently the best English version. It is absolutely massive and it's absolutely beautiful. I said Inferno. This is the entire Divine Comedy, whereas this is just Inferno. I've only read Inferno. I absolutely love Inferno. I actually want to study Inferno one day. This was the reading material I got. Do I need to reread it now? Well, frankly, yes. Am I going to reread it today, or am I just going to put it beside me to intimidate me? Who knows? Who knows? Ooh, we've got an illustration. Anyways, that was pointless. I'm going to continue writing right now with my dad classes and my third cup of coffee. I did also get Oh yeah, this is another thought that I was meant to share. Not the most unhinged thing I've ever done, but like I think it was fitting the unhinged for the video. I started getting a bit hungry, so I thought I'm gonna go make something. Instead of making a snack, I just took a tin of tuna from the fridge and started eating it. I'm not hungry anymore. It is literally 30 seconds later, and this is not a necessary comment, but I just found it very funny that in my first One Piece video, in which I wore a lot of my band t-shirts, someone said like, I can't remember, they listed 3 bands, which they were like, see her wear in her next video, and one of them was Bunny M. I put on the 70s soul mix, like on shuffle. The first song that popped up was Sunny by Bunny M. Fitting, I think. I'm still writing, don't worry. I just needed a change of location, so I came to work in the living room. And have I got much else to say? No, I did eat lunch, and yes, you might think this is me taking it a bit too far, but I ate Mexican food. Well, I didn't eat Mexican food. I ate a bean tuna tortilla, which you can consider Mexican food if you want. But the point was that in an interview, Oda said that he really likes Mexican food, or that was like his favorite cuisine or something like that. I'm not just writing like Oda for a day, I am living like Oda for a day. I'm eating like Oda. I'm doing everything like Oda. And like I said, I think I mentioned, maybe not the last time, but a bit ago, about the film influences. I did start to watch a kind of an influence, or like a possible influence, or like just something akin, which is Ever After. I did also pick up a book. No, I'm not gonna read the giant copy of The Divine Comedy. I will be reading it, but not today. So if I want to be reading something that is a literary influence for the story, I'll be rereading Neverwhere, which is one of the influences. More so probably Stardust, but I'm feeling like something novel. Like, I didn't have much to say, as you can notice, but I can't show you how much I've written because I apparently put the camera on top of my book. Well, I mean, it is a book. Why am I saying book? But like, you know, not a book, but a book. But I've written quite a lot. I'm actually surprised because I've written about like 8 pages. It is like 1, but I've written like 8 pages of that, which is more than I've written basically on any other day, because my normal day average of writing that has been like 3 pages. But I also did write, oh, I didn't write, I revised the page of the other thingy. It is past 4 and I have not done any more writing, but to be fair, I have worked. One note that I had about Oda was how deeply and how well constructed basically his characters are, not just his main characters, but his side characters are. And I think one quote or reference or something I found out or read or heard was that he creates all his characters as if they were real people. He creates them to be real people. So very thorough character info, background, character building. So one thing that I have done is I did like some deepening for our main character. I filled this wonderful character sheet, and I did a bit of character work for the side character that was just introduced. Yeah, and then before that I did read a bit of Neverwhere. Not much, but as you can see, it is very much being read. This is what that looks like. And I think this took me the longest. It took me like an hour about to do this. I went through all that I have written so far from the very beginning, from chapter 1, and I edited it with this pink pen. So that took me a bit. So I have worked on the book, just not writing, and that was actually because I started getting quite a bit tired. Sitting down now, I feel a bit more like fresh, but like knowing that I need to go and write in for 10ish hours, you know, I'm not ecstatic, but I think I can do it, especially with the break that I've taken from like physically writing. I'm gonna again start to physically write, which is why I returned to my room, because it's not that easy to actually write on the couch. But that was it. Oh, I did also, it's shrunk, but I wanted to show you that I did get my very well needed energy, and the monster meal is the best monster. But I'm gonna go and do some more writing, because I thought I might be at my target by now. Like if I went on with the pace that I had before 12, I would be. You know, that was meant to be an aesthetic reading experience, but I can already notice that the rain is nearing its ending because it was like absolutely pouring rain a minute ago, and I was like, oh, that is such an aesthetic background sound. And I was like, I can film this like ASMR-esque moment, which is why the settings are all messed up. They are intentionally like this. I'm just not gonna quit filming what I was filming. But yeah, I think the rain is just gonna die out. And as you can see, me lighting this candle, which is apparently burnt out completely, it didn't really work. I'm just gonna take it away and continue writing instead of distracting myself with reading this. It is currently 10 in the evening. It's been a while, yes it has. I got sucked into all of this writing and I forgot to update you. I've also forgotten to eat, which is why I'm really hungry. I'm very bothered by these classes, especially because I literally just got them, so I'm not used to seeing them. I literally just a minute ago, before I put on the camera, surpassed my writing goal of more than 12 words, and we have 4 hours to go. Probably more like 3 hours after I've eaten, but I have currently written 13 pages. It is impressive. To me, it's impressive, especially because I think I can surpass 15 pages. I was like, ooh, I can write 2 more pages in 4 hours, but what I mean is I can surpass 15 pages. So having written as much as I've written, I have already written over half of what I'd written so far. Okay, I'm not making any sense at this point. And chapter 3 has so far been well, it's been 13 pages, obviously, because I began with chapter 3 and that's how much I've written. It is my longest chapter so far, and it will go on for a bit of a while. I never know how long my chapters will end up being. It's just like I write and then I'm like, oh, okay, now this is a natural conclusion to the chapter. I also did distract myself a bit, quite a bit. I actually could have fully already reached, I would have already reached more than 15 pages, unless I technically have started 4 books today. Not technically, I have started 4 books today. I started Neverwhere, which I did show to you, but then I put it back away. Why? I don't know. Probably because I picked up Sorrows of a Young Werber, because I've not read this, and it's like I was meant to read this before I started this because there is elements of romanticism with a capital R in here, and this is considered one of the first romantic novels. But then I also realised that the chapter that is literally going to come next after I'm done with that chapter, I said that I would have it written as pastiche of Picture of Dorian Gray. I might save that for later and have actually the next chapter be written as pastiche to this, because this is written in letters, and I think that is a chapter that just works so wonderfully. When I got the idea, I was like, that works so much better than what I had in mind. Because like, I'm not going to tell you what the chapter is about, but the letter form thing just fits, and it is romantic. That is what it's going to be. Like, it's the character that I've just introduced, which has just been kind of like mentioned, and who's going to be the main focus of that chapter. He's the most romantic character probably within the entire work. And the work can sometimes be quite romantic. But then I also started what I joked about. I literally started reading. Yeah, I started reading Inferno. I actually weirdly started with Canto 3. Let's not question that. Let's not question that. But I said 4. That's 3. I did read one short story within the collection by Susanna Clarke, The Ladies of Grace Adieu, and other stories, because this is another influence, like work that has influenced my work. This is more like something I will refer to. This is more like type of writing, like influence, you know influence. You know what influence is, I hope. But yeah, now I will I will go eat dinner, like evening snack. And then I will probably go on writing, or I will do some reading or something. But I'm really proud of how far I've gotten. Yes, I have indeed brought myself to the kitchen, and it is currently 1 in the morning. We've got 1 hour to go. I last updated you 3 hours ago, and less than 2 pages ago, I've really hit a brick wall. I don't understand. You know, actually, the last time I was here, I was meant to say, I can't believe how well this day, like this challenge has done, how well it's gone, because I truly wasn't really tired. Like, I mean, tired of writing as well as just like tired physically and mentally. I was feeling fine. I was like, this is brilliant. I've gotten so much writing done. I felt so productive. This is stellar. I've actually written throughout the entire day. No wonder I have become absolutely exhausted, because I've been writing for 19 hours. Well, I haven't written all of those 19 hours, but I've basically been writing for 19 hours. And yeah, I hit a brick wall. Like, not only did I get really tired, I was just like, can't get further with this story. I did read a bit of Werther. I'm currently on the page 44, which might sound more impressive than it is, because the book actually starts from page 25. So I've read 19 pages of that today. So not the most, but like that was not the goal. The goal of today was not to write. The goal of today was to write. The goal of today wasn't to read. Can you see that I'm getting tired? I had to also get out of my room because I don't know what's going on, but there's something going on within our neighborhood, because they have come through the window, like the sound of like celebration, partying, just noise from our neighborhood for the last 5-6 hours. Also, my back hurts, but I can read you a little paragraph. What would be good? Like, I think this brings out the kind of the tone of the story out really well. The tone of the story has really changed a lot with what I've written today. Like, what I've written today, maybe because of the Werther, it's been really like romantic. Like, it's been really like melodramatic. Whereas this is where we started off from. Well, we didn't start off from there. Like, this is not like the very first, but like this was like hours ago, you know? This was the introduction of a creature. Having stood quietly for long enough, the creature leaning on the lonely column behind Carla finally speaks. Salutations, wench. Carla succeeds much better than Sister Cecil in not yelping at the unexpected sound behind her, and simply turns around. The creature, who isn't really a creature, but a person who would be quite offended by being called that, begins as a goat. He has the unevenly bending horns of a goat, the long downturned ears of a goat, the horizontally elongated pupils of a goat, the goatee of a goat, the look of confusion and judgment of a goat, the cute shortest thin front legs with the divided hooves of a goat. The creature, nay person, doesn't end as a goat though. What should be his behind half is instead his lower half, and somewhere where his workman's genes begin, his body of a goat turns into the legs of a man, and what began as a goat quite a few complications ago ends with the uncovered toes of a son of Adam. Excuse me, sir, are you a fawn? Carla asks. That is kind of the mood, the tone of the story. That's unedited, so I did notice a mistake there, so we're just gonna ignore that. But like, that is where I'm going. Like, the previous paragraph that I've written is quite different. It's quite different, you know, it's quite different. Did I do anything worthwhile within the last hour? I don't know. Did I write at all within the last hour? No, but that is a good thing, because what I first started doing was I started editing what I hadn't edited since my last edit, which was finished around 4 when I talked to you about editing. And you could really see that I was tired. I'm tired, have been tired, because I, for example, used the word end to mean an, not and. That would make even some sense, but like end apple. I don't know where my mind was at. So I was like, I'm not going to do any more writing, because then that will only mean that I will have to do some like absolutely tragic edits tomorrow. So instead I lost young Werther. I couldn't read even that, but I did some like more of these character planning stuff, and just, I know I'm very crooked. I'm gonna say goodnight and goodbye for tonight right now, because I already washed my face and wash my teeth, and I can just crawl under that bed. I thought I would show you what it looks like outside, but I'm too tired to do that. It's darker, but not dark. Good night. That was the end of the challenge. I did indeed write 15-ish pages, which might sound like nothing, but to me it wasn't nothing. I will talk to you tomorrow and reflect on the day that has passed. It is morning, as you can quite distractingly notice. Wait a second. Well, it got much darker, but it is morning. We will do with what we can. No, that is not a correct sentence. As you can see, I haven't woken up yet, but I've woken up hours ago because this was much more me following Oda's routine than I had intended, because I indeed woke up 4 hours after going to bed. Yeah, that was not intended. That was genuinely, I just woke up and I couldn't fall back asleep again. At like 6. So I know I completed this challenge. I worked on writing from 5 in the morning until 2 in the morning. It is absolutely insane and I do not recommend it to anyone. I don't recommend it to myself neither, ever again. It was fun while it lasted, but you know, I don't wanna do this again. Again, I always love challenging myself. And it was especially interesting seeing the method behind the madness. And there is definitely madness. You know, it makes sense that the story is quite absurd. Those thoughts you get at 1 in the morning when you have been awake for 19 hours, those can be a bit mad. I want to know what is the first sentence and last sentences that I wrote. The first sentence I wrote, Carla sits on a log for a while that might last a minute or an hour or a day. Very accurate representation of the day to come. And the last sentence I wrote, he keeps his eyes on Carla, and though his words are no harsher than those of his sibling, his voice lacks their tender delivery, which brings them an edge. Not the bestest of sentences. Also, this is the sentence where I wrote end edge. That was what I was talking about yesterday. Literally, I was too tired. This was not good soup. This, not good soup. This, decent soup. I think that's all. I didn't become a chain smoker, but I can imagine that if I'd continued this for days and days and days on end, I would. I should have concluding thoughts about what I learned, but I think the only thing I learned was do not do this unless you're absolutely criminally insane, because I feel like that is what I developed into. I don't understand how one could wake up like I did today and then go back into writing. My brain is literally still not working and it's like 9 in the morning. But that was a fun challenge and I'm done with that challenge, and I will move on with my life and move on with this book to new places, which are not where Oda has been or where Oda is going or where Oda was. But I will see Oda again when I return to One Piece.